Bye tayo sa Ronald. Models of, ano siya, models of QC, Pasig. Sino ba yan?
Oh,
Maganda yung kilay niya, in
microblade.
fairness. Natural. Natural.
Hindi na kailangan ng microblading.
Tapos kagabi yung mami ko, uy, ganda na skin ni Bukoy ah. Ganda ng hair niya. Ano na ito, no? Medyo, ano na, justice sa mga may... Oo, Vicky Bello, Games, Olympics. So, a resident expert, models of Manila.
Hindi ako familiar din talaga.
Sino siya?
Nakita talaga nung ano.
Parang 200 lang followers din sa Twitter. Sabi ko, who is this? Saan ba kinukuha niya? Wala bang gusto kumuha ng trabaho niyan sa Ronald? Kaya kung sino-sino kinuha nila?
Siyempre, ang gusto nila, yung
Naghanap buhay.
bata,
Model.
suicide bomber, yung walang political future.
Oh my God.
Walang political future.
Oh, you never know. Baka DDS ano na yan.
Parang presidential spokesperson.
Yeah.
Meron bang presidential spokesperson
Sa bagay.
na nanalo as senator? Diba?
Oo nga, no.
So, why want to take the blows?
Actually, punching bag ka.
You have to defend the president. Kailangan mo magsinungaling para sa mahabang ilong ng mga presidential spokesperson. Para mga Pinocchio yan.
Parang Harry Roque ang pinag-usapan natin or si Panelo. I'm confused.
Madali, yung spokesperson, talagang ang
Yeah.
buhay mo para sa principal. Kahit mali yung
You're
principal, you have to defend
suicide
it.
bomber ka nga. Yeah,
Oo,
exactly. Yeah.
Pero hindi sa Senate. Kailangan depensa mo yung Senate kahit mali.
Kaya walang gusto kumuha nung trabaho.
Lalo na, you're representing 24 separate republics.
Right.
No? Mas madali pa nga yung presidential spokesperson dahil isa lang yung represent mo. Ito, 24. No? At,
Parang hindi. Yung DDS parang isang republic lang sila, di ba?
Hindi.
May kanya-kanya din ano.
Maraming crackpots doon, di ba? Oo. Imagine mo kung ikaw yung spokesperson.
No. Parang ngayon nirealize ko, actually, ayoko na yung trabaho na yun pag na-opera na. No, Justice, what is your read of yung accusation? Let's talk about Bukoy also, because, we had other legal friends here who know Attorney Bukoy from their work back in the day, or si Dina De Leon, for instance, his mom worked also with him daw. So, what is your read of the spokesman of the Congress? Is he doing a proper job explaining this and also calling out yung supposed lawyering na ginagawa nung mga model natin kaibigan, mga kilay boys. Kilay boys! Tinatawag natin kilay boys sa Senado. Hindi naman tayo ma-libel, Justice. No?
Si Boy Dila.
Ayan tayo, Boy Dila. Boy Sili pa rin.
Si Boy Culto.
Boy Sili, mamaya. No, Justice. Because actually, before that, I want to understand, why is Bato the chief legal strategist of them? Hindi ko maintindihan bakit hindi si Robin Hood, ba't hindi si Bongo? Why is Bato taking the...
Parang sinasagot mo yung sarili mo.
Yun nga eh.
Well, I think between Bato and
Bukoy.
Robin Hood, who would be a better spokesman?
Robin Hood! Robin Hood! Di ba?
Hindi na natin sure.
Chairman yun ang kwan, ha?
Constitutional amendments!
Yeah.
I will go, Robin! Di ba sabi ni Robin, huwag natin sayangin yung ating talino. Huwag natin sayangin yung ating talino sa ganito.
Si Marcoleta, may alam.
Yun, pwede yun. Si Oleta magte-take over.
Over.
Pwede mag-take over, hindi na ba attorney?
May alam yun, no?
Legal luminary ba si Mark Oleta? Justice?
Well, I know he's a lawyer.
That's a good answer. He's a
Hindi,
lawyer.
pero kung yun ang represent mo, the one-eyed man is king.
Sa bagay. Buti nga one eye. In the valley of...
Ako nga drop out pero tapat mo ako sa mga yun.
Alam mo, Sir Ronald, parang ikaw yung Bill Gates ng mga analyst. Hindi ako graduate, pero talo ko kayong lahat, di ba?
Drop out ako para kung pwede humarap sa kaso. Harap ako. Tatalunin ko yung ngayon.
Suicide squad. So, Justice, going back to you, let's just forget whatever Ronald said. Okay, thank you. Noted. Noted. Sir Justice. Anong basa mo kay Bukoy so far? It was kasi purong batang kinukuha kilay boys eh. Si Bukoy ganda ng kutis, 'di ba? Napansin mo kagabi, ganda ng kutis.
Well, I think he's doing okay.
He's doing okay.
He's addressing the issues frontally.
Yeah.
So, he's okay. He's expressing the correct position of the House.
And Do you think his selection also made strategic sense given his background as a litigator, etc.? What is your sense with?
Yeah, I think
I mean, in a collegial way.
yeah.
Okay, we're not here to ban at anyone.
Yeah, he's a good choice. I mean, he's not doing any damage to the position of the House.
That's always good.
Yeah.
That's always good.
Yeah, he's okay. He's trying to articulate the position. Okay naman. So he's doing okay. I have nothing against what he's
Talagang
saying.
ano, no, he's okay. He's, like what is it, Donald Trump? Nothing wrong. Nothing. It's good. It's good. Nothing wrong. No, but okay. Ganito na. What should be the communication strategy of the prosecution heading now? Now let's talk about the 20th Congress. So medyo last minute pumasok si Attorney Bukoy, di ba? So I think he's warming up. He's building up. So what should be the line of
Well,
attack communication wise?
Well, I think it's there in the reply of the House that they should explain why there was no violation of the one-year ban. Very clear eh.
Very clear. Yeah.
Kasi the moment babagsak yung the entire theory of the defense of VP Sara will collapse. Kasi they put all their eggs in that basket and
Right.
turns out that there's a big hole in that basket.
So, again, like, just for people who are not familiar, what is the one-year ban?
Well-
what is the count? What is the end?
The one-year ban is in the Constitution that only one impeachment
Can be
complaint
filed within a one.
can be filed in 1 year.
Right.
And the reckoning date per the decision of the Supreme Court is when the impeachment complaint is referred to the Committee on Justice.
Right.
In this case, there were 3 impeachment complaints. None was
Move
referred
forward, yeah.
to the Committee on Justice. And ang sabi ng ni VP Sara, the lawyers of VP Sara, the 10-day period for the plenary of the House to refer lapsed already.
Right.
So since it lapsed, you have to count already the 1-year bar.
Hindi nila nabilang yung 10
Oh,
yeah,
but-
exactly. Yeah.
But the
That
Constitution
technicality,
says
yeah.
10 session days.
How could they not know that? The Fortune people and all.
Well, because they relied on the admission of
Velasco.
Section Velasco. Even me, I said, wow, they violated.
Medyo alanganin niya.
So, but for me, even assuming that there was a breach of the
1 year.
the 10,
10 days.
Ay, 10
days,
sessions,
no?
yeah.
Let's assume that Velasco sat on the impeachment complaints. The issue will be, is the negligence of Velasco, or even willful lack of Velasco, binding on the plenary? That will be a dangerous doctrine to adopt,
Right.
that the negligence or willful act of one
One staff.
hindi naman siya member of Congress,
Exactly.
can bind the entire Congress. Problema yan. That's a very dangerous doctrine. So,
Piyato ka lang eh.
empleyado ka lang, ang gagawin ng iba, pag may dumating na, iupuan na nila, tapos
Suicide
na.
bomber.
So,
Oo nga, no?
I don't think...
Para ma-violate yung buong plan.
yeah, I mean, it will bind the entire House.
Yeah.
So, I think, even assuming that Section Velasco was negligent, I don't think that will bind
Right.
the,
That's an
the
interesting
plenary.
point, yeah.
So
Hindi pa
I was
lumabas ng-
thinking
Very
that
good
will
point.
be the issue. But when I read the prosecution's reply, they
Session days.
session
May
days,
nagbabantay pala.
wala
10 days.
palang violation.
Right.
So meron pa sila, even assuming there was a violation, you cannot make that negligent act of one
An employee.
binding on the entire plenary. So yun.
That's
So matibay yung position ng House.
Matthew.
At isa lang ang pinagbotohan ng House.
Oh,
Na complaint.
yeah, because
Para hindi nadalhin doon sa justice.
Yeah,
Committee.
kasi may-
Para diretso na.
Yeah.
there is
Consolidated na.
there's already precedents.
Right.
Yung kay ERAP, may complaints, impeachment complaints, dumating yung 1/3 resolution, yun ang nag-prevail.
Kahit binabanatan ni Cheese si Justice Carpio.
Pinabanatan ba?
Well, sinabi na
I mean, mas magandang kilay mo sa kanya.
Well,
Better skin, better...
kasi sinabi ni Senate President Cheese na during the time of si
Corona ba to?
hindi,
Ay,
si that lady ombudsman, si
Merceditas Gutierrez? Yeah.
Gutierrez,
Yeah.
the Senate did not proceed with the impeachment.
Right.
Hindi rin ako nag-complain. Bakit nagko-complain
selective ka
ako
daw.
ngayon? Well, first of all, hindi nag-proceed yun dahil nag-resign si Merceditas.
Oh, she resigned.
She resigned. And secondly,
Kasama ka ako sa biniblame.
oh,
Parang,
secondly,
Sir Ronald, marami kang fans.
biniblame ka rin ha.
Saan yung bulletproof mo dyan?
And at that time,
Yeah, I remember that. I was
think
in
that
the
was
Congress.
2009 and or 2010. I was already in the Supreme Court.
Yes.
How can I, as sitting justice of the Supreme Court, complain if they did not
Yeah.
proceed with the
Medyo,
impeachment?
medyo
I
tagilid.
mean, first of all, we do not comment on the actions of the Senate,
Senate.
because first of all, they might be
Separation of
questioned
powers,
before
yeah.
us.
Yeah.
So, and we never question on political developments because we're in another branch of the government. So, nobody would have made any comment among the members of the justices for two reasons. It's not proper for us to comment on those things. And second,
She resigned.
that might be brought to the Supreme Court. In the case of Senate President Chis, he keeps on commenting on matters pending before the impeachment court.
Right.
And the rule should be they should not
Right.
comment anymore because they are judges. They are judges. Sasabihin niya na pwede naman yan i-file yung motion na yan, pwede naman botohan, they can vote against it or vote in favor of it.
Hindi ikaw ang magsasalita dapat to.
Yeah, you should not be telling telling the parties to do these things.
Pwede siya mag-defense lawyer din ni Sara para matapos na itong... I mean, pinapahirapan niya yung buhay niya eh. No, I mean, just is going back to this, nahawa ba sila ng Batorni virus? Or is there an algorithm they're downloading? Kasi minsan, Cheese was never a legal luminary, but sometimes it's like sounding like this is like a downgrade even by Cheese standard.
Ano sa'yo mo? Cheese is a legal luminary.
He's not a legal luminary. He's more like you, Sir Ronald. Ikaw, Sir Ronald, just a reminder, fresh memory, what happened with Mercedita Gutierrez and the Corona cases? Kasi di umano, may kinalaman yung isang minor cabinet member.
She resigned.
Di umano.
She resigned.
She resigned.
Wala akong alam na may pinakita sa kanya na problema sa salad. Wala akong alam.
Wala kang alam dyan. Wala tayong alam dyan.
Walang ganun.
Walang ganon. Parang ayaw mo sumagot bigla, Sir Ronald. Sige na nga, let's take this away.
Actually, sagot yun.
Yeah, I know. It's parang yung mga tanong ko na may sagot na, pero kunyari tanong. Parang I'm just using you as a foil. Last mark before we go to 20th Congress, just to wrap it up before we go to ICC.
People resign kasi dahil pag pinakita sa kanila yung mga properties nila na wala sa kanilang salad.
Biglang nalinawan sila. What future awaits them? Mga ganun.
Not specifically si Ombudsman.
Oo, no, di umano.
In
Sabi ko,
general.
Pero paano malaman yung mga hindi na-declare? Paano malaman? Meron kang intel operations ba?
triangulate mo lang yun. Sa NRA, sa LTO,
right.
sa lahat. Triangulate
Sa YouTube earnings.
Gano'ng karami sa Bureau of Immigration, gano'ng
Right.
karami ang trips mo,
Right.
gano'ng karami ang properties mo, tsaka sa iyong mga kamag-anak, gano'ng karami ang mga kotse mo at yung mga kamag-anak. So, itatriangulate mo lang yan. Kung ikaw na sa gobyerno, sa executive, madaling gawin.
That's not a warning at all to some of our friends. Mark, last point. What is your read of Bukoy versus Cheese Jr.? Do you think, how is it coming out in terms of public opinion? Kailangan ba na dalawang bata ilagay nila, face value? Kasi I heard na they might also get a female spokesperson for the House. Baka daw dalawang
Dalawa
kukunin.
pa sila.
May-
Parang
I even suggested some people if ever.
parang nakagulo, ang dami ng spokesperson eh.
Si Topacio rin, PDP laban.
Yun yung the best.
I was worried. You will say something the best.
Siya na talaga si...
Topacio.
Na-appoint na si...
Incomparable.
PDP laban spokes naman.
Appointed na siya?
Oh, Oo.
Kaya lang tumapat kay Attorney Topacio, si ex-Attorney Gadon.
Yun. Ay,
Na-appoint ba
oo,
siya?
si Gadon.
Ex-Attorney Gadon. Ex-Attorney dahil na-disbarred.
Pero pwede ka pa rin maging spokesman. I mean, he still has the legal
Topacio
mind.
na-appoint ba?
Spokesperson.
Topacio, yeah.
Si Topa ng PDP Laban.
PDP.
PDP Laban.
PDP Laban, no?
Pero makikialam yun. The ratings are... Ikaw, Mark, kailangan ng face value versus face value. Kailangan ba ng what is face value nowadays if it's needed?
Hindi.
As a resident
yung
aesthetic analyst.
Yung mas importante yung conviction ng
Yun, no?
spokesperson Na parang alam mong he really means kung ano yung sinasabi niya.
Parang si Batorni, talagang
Oo.
guided.
si isa Congress, si Attorney
Bukoy. Yeah.
Parang talaga
Sincerity.
sincerity palaban talaga.
Authority rin. Yeah.
And syempre, importante yung mga sound bites.
Yun nga yung sound bites para maalala ka ng tao.
Medyo din.
So, okay ka kay Yusek Claire Castro.
Hindi, malaki yung impact.
Wait! Saan galing yung Castro?
Hindi, nasabi kasi niya, yung mga spokesperson dapat. Diba?
Parang narinig ko, Sir Ronald, meron kang aesthetic commentaries din recently. Wala akong sinasabi na may kinalaman. Si Sir Ronald bigla nagko-comment, bakit ganyan yung puff ng Filipiniana ni ganito? Bakit yung hairstyle ni Bukoy ay medyo masyadong Gen Z?
Wala akong credibility sa fashion. Wala akong credibility dyan. Wala.
Siguro din
Rereklaman
bukod
ka na
doon,
naman, Sir
sincerity, yung commitment doon. Tapos syempre yung husay din sa bardagulan. Kasi parang ganun din
Yun,
lumalabas.
bardagulan. Yan.
Oo, ganun na din nangyayari. So, makikita natin yung spokesperson kung effective ba o baka lalamunin din sila nung mga nung mga issue and mga habang nagpo-progress itong sa impeachment ni VP Sara.
Sir Ronald, going to...
Nung nag-report sa akin para sa isang sa RRM, no? Yun yung sabi niya sa role ko, bardagulan. Tapos ginagawa ko na, no?
Pinipigilan ka na.
Pinipigilan na ako. Hindi mahirap to, nirecruit ka for a particular...
Ang tao dyan, Sir Ronald, Goldilocks. Not too hot, not too cold.
Yeah. Ginagawa yung term. Be our Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan, minus the Trump days.
Hindi ko makilala kung sino si Joe Rogan.
Ginugal mo talaga, no? Sino yan? Ano yun? No, Sir Ronald, I want to talk to you before we go to Justice Carp because I want to understand also the Supreme Court side of this, if ever. But, Sir Ronald, malabo ba si Tito Soto? Kasi he's really sticking his neck out to be the next Senate President. And I think Cayetano coming in and saying, hindi, okay na yun si Cheese, okay na. Parang position pa nga siya doon sa trabaho ni Villanueva, di ba? Parang talagang lantaran na talaga, insider deal na ba to?
Sa Senate kasi, simple majority,
Yeah.
mapapaltan ka na So, hindi ganun kahirap katulad na limbawa sa Congress. Sa Congress kasi, mas ang crucial dyan, the President.
Right.
Kahit separate institution yan. No? In the real world, crucial dyan yung gusto ng Presidente. Dahil dyan nagsisimula impeachment no? Sa Congress. Sa Senate, babalansin mo yan No? Babalansin mo yung 24 different republics. Ano bang gusto nila? Lalo na yung may mga blocks. Ito yung Duterte block. Ikalawa, babalansin mo dyan yung kanilang mga gusto. Yung chairmanships, yung insertions, yung lump sums, no?
The perks.
Hindi nag-exist, Hindi siya nag-exist.
Of course. Theoretical.
Theoretical lang yan. Tapos ikatlo, babalansin mo yung Malacanang.
Right.
Na ang sinasabi, wala siyang pakialam. No? Pero in the real world, again, meron. No? Sino ba yung preference ng Malacanang?
Ano bang mood ngayon ng Malacanang?
Tapos siyempre, panghuli, popular opinion.
Yeah.
Diba? Mahirap ka naman maglagay ng isang Senate President. May isa kasing senator gusto maging Senate President, pero nakulong. No? Nakulong. So, yung image naman ng Senate, magbabago kung yung Senate President mo nakulong for plunder. No? So,
na-convicted pa rin ngayon.
So, mahalaga yung public opinion din. So, yun yung mga binabalanse mo. At the very least, 3.
So, yung Malacanang, what's the latest mood now? Conflict avoidant? Risk-taking? Ano yun? Kasi parang every week tayo nag-meet, iba yung basa natin sa Malacanang.
Ang pumili naman kay Cheese ay administration as Senate President. Whether they are masaya o hindi is another thing.
Right.
Ikalawa, si Soto ay kandidato ng administration.
Alyansa, yeah.
So, theoretically, parehas silang administration.
Exactly.
No? Pero, dahil may solid Duterte block na at least 6 na senador,
Yeah, exactly.
ay hindi nila pwedeng hindi i-factor in yun. So, pina-factor in nila yung 6 na yan. Lalo na, pareho silang kulang. At this point, kulang si Soto, kulang si Cheese. So, kung kulang ka, yung 6 na yan can be crucial. At yung 6 na yan will dictate terms.
What could be the strategy of Soto? Kasi clearly yung positioning niya will alienate the
Tingin
Team
ko,
DS.
tinapon na niya yan. Hindi na niya kliyente yung 6 na yan.
Kaya nga.
So,
So, how can you win over the rest?
Mag-rely siya, tingin ko, dun sa administration. Dahil ang magiging naman dyan ni Cheese, negative sa kanya, kung magke-cater siya dyan sa 6, baka magalit naman yung administration.
Which is why it's an important factor,
And a lot of senators, ang term lang ginagamit nila, hindi naman pwedeng labanan ng City Hall. Ibig sabihin, tatanungin nila in so many ways, ano bang gusto ng presidente? Ano bang gusto ng Malacanang? Sino ba ang gusto?
So,
Kaya baka doon nag-rely.
Sir, so takot ang Republic sa City Hall? Hindi ko maintindihan. I'm playing with the metaphors here. Like,
Pero may ano yan eh.
sige,
may-
Justice.
There's a reason for that.
Right.
Alam mo.
Parang bakit nag-sign language? Gusto mo i-text sa akin? Iba. Mark, are you surprised by these realities of our politics? Our wonderful president, their influence?
Hindi, siguro din eh. Yung sa ibang senador din yung results din ng last elections. Lalo na yung mga
Kung malakas
elections sa 2028. Siguro iniisip din nila yun if we don't go along dito sa ng mga Duterte, baka it might affect yung re-election ko sa 2028. So may ganung factor na din eh. Pero yun nga, it's nice to see Tito Sen na at least standing up kung saan yung tama, kung ano yung sa Constitution. Diba? Yun lang.
Itbulaga ka talaga, no? No, literally, nasa Itbulaga siya.
Naparkad
Itbulaga siya eh. Our resident Soto expert. Vico Soto, Tito Soto, lahat ng Soto yata, expert ka eh.
Tama yung sabi ni Mark, dahil kasama rin kasi dyan sa 24 Republics, yung kanilang political
Calculus,
calculation
yeah.
going into 2028. No? Lalo na kung wala masyadong pressure yung Malacanang. Malacanang kasi still has 3 years eh.
Yeah.
At huwag mo
Leverage.
kalimutan yung controversy sa GAA, yung controversy sa budget, hindi lang House yan. Kasama
Senate
dyan
yan.
ng Senate. No?
That's
Which
the key.
Panfilo Lacson is
Yung
raising
mga,
now.
Yung mga lump
Right.
sum na nire-raise ni Ping Lacson bago siya pumasok sa 28th
Yeah,
Congress.
exactly.
Yung mga nakatagong pork barrel, yung mga insertions, no, yung mga perks, no? Kasama yan dyan sa usapin na yan. Dito. Sino ba ang magdi-deliver niyan? Sino ba ang magbibigay ng mga chairmanships? No? Sino ba kanino ba ako makikinabang in division of spoils? Yung mga unsaid.
Yeah. Ikaw, Justice, what's your read of this positioning? Like, with Cheese in charge, do you still see this trial moving forward in a direction that is reasonably reasonable, if I can put it that way? I mean, or do you think Senate presidency change might be one way to make sure we move in the right direction? What is your read?
Well, I think the trial will proceed regardless of whoever is a Senate president, because the prosecution will always go to the Supreme Court, and I think the Supreme Court will say the trial has to proceed. Because that's in the Constitution, trial shall proceed forthwith. No? So, but of course, the politics in the Senate presidency will come in because Malacanang will want a certain position to be followed, or will favor a certain candidate who will do its bidding. And Malacanang has a lot of leverage. We know that while we have abolished the pork barrel, the president has actually become more powerful. Because remember, Ronald, when before, the pork barrel, this was the mechanism before, they will put there that the member of Congress can recommend where that money will go. The Supreme Court declared that unconstitutional. So the president now has sole power to determine where that amount will go. And so
Prerogative.
everybody now will queue up.
Line up.
Line up, and do the president's bidding. That's why President Duterte became very powerful.
Exactly.
Because the pork barrel was abolished, and now the only way the congressman can get a pork barrel is for the president, out of the goodness of his heart, to give it to him. That's why when the president said, I want the ABS-CBN franchise not to be renewed, they had to follow because it was an election year.
Yeah.
And everybody had to follow that.
It will hit them where it hurts.
Yeah.
Right. That's a very
And
good
when the
point.
president said, I want China to get the third telco, so they
Right.
passed the amendment to the Public Service Act. Because it was an election year.
Yes.
Justice Carr, are you saying that Marcos Jr. Should be more Digong? We were scared he'll be Marcos Sr. Now we're saying, please be more Digong. No, just kidding. No, but basically you're saying theoretically, there is that leverage, except you have to exercise leverage for it to be
Yeah.
power, right?
Yes, kaya nga maganda na meron kang Ping Lacson ngayon. Si Ping kasi yung maliban pa sa hindi siya tumatanggap ng pork barrel, siya yung among all the other senators, siya yung nag-expose nung double
Insertions.
double insertions,
Yeah.
triple insertions, quadruple insertions, quintuple.
Okay, I think, Sara, people might get other ideas. Let's just stick to the double insertions.
So ang dami niya, no? In-expose niya yan. Kaya ngayon na nandyan siya, ay tingin ko kung nandun siya sa previous Senate, baka nabanatan niya itong gaan na ito.
Right, noon
No?
pa lang. Although binanatan niya as a private citizen.
Halimbawa, itong pag-zero budget, nanggaling yan sa Senado, ng PhilHealth.
Yeah.
Hindi yan House na. No?
Right.
Senador ang nag-propose niya. Yung pag-zero ng PhilHealth.
So, going back to this justice, so if anong kailangan i-expect ng tao sa 20th Congress in terms of yung calendar, in terms of what are the procedures we have to look at kasi may July 29, ano naman ulit yun? Yung kay Cheese? What does he want? Nahilo ako kay Cheese.
Para kung may continuity.
Continuity,
Para
exactly.
sa
So,
Congress,
what is the next hurdle, kumbaga?
Pero isang sinasabi
Yun
ni
nga.
Cheese ay theoretically, pwedeng i-dismiss by simple
Majority. Yeah, by the way, we have, thank you, sir, for bringing that.
Pag ganyan, yung conviction kasi, or
Yeah, exactly.
2/3 yung pan eh.
Yeah. He said that if there is a motion to dismiss
Right.
by a
Simple
Senate
majority.
judge,
Oo.
not even by one of the parties. No? So,
Grabe, no?
well, because it's a matter of who has a majority vote. So, I think that's unconstitutional because the Constitution says trial shall proceed forthwith. So, ang gagawin if Bato makes a motion to dismiss and we need only
can already
13
see
votes,
what's gonna happen. Yeah.
13 votes will approve that motion, then prosecution will go up to the Supreme Court. The issue there is whether trial can be dispensed with in a motion to dismiss. Second, yung ground ng motion to dismiss, there was a breach of the one-year bar rule. Talagang totoo ba yan? So there are two questions. So I think the Supreme Court, based on the response of the Senate, will say there is no violation of the one-year ban rule. Kasi on the 10th session day, they were able to adopt the fourth resolution, the fourth impeachment. And I think the Supreme Court will also say the Constitution says trial shall proceed forthwith. That means you cannot file a motion to dismiss. So
So you're
babalik na
cautiously
naman.
optimistic. Wala silang lusot dyan in terms of killing this again. Yeah.
So the case will be remanded back
Oh, wow.
to the.
Ayan na naman tayo.
So it
Pero
will.
tunay na rin.
Tunay na rin.
So,
Hindi lang referred.
So, ano yan? They will say now, okay, tuloy. And that's the next big hurdle there is. The prosecution will file a subpoena duces tecum on the bank accounts. I think that's the greatest
Yeah,
battle.
that's the
there.
crux.
And that requires only under the rules of the impeachment court, if there's a motion like that to open the bank accounts, the Senate President as presiding judge can rule on it or throw the issue to the impeachment court for voting.
Simple majority.
Yeah, simple majority.
Parang envelope na naman.
Oh,
So
wow.
that for me is the most crucial
Game changer.
Show me the
game
money
changer
trail,
because
yeah.
after that, tapos ng boxing.
And Sara cannot resign, no? That's no longer an option.
No, she can resign if she wants.
She can.
Anytime.
Because that could be also one scenario.
Yeah.
If she, parang
Yeah.
Mercedita
Pero
Gutierrez
pag nag-resign
basically.
siya, habang nangyayari yun, she will be greatly damaged.
Yun nga.
Lalo na, sabi niya, bloodbath. No?
Ngayon, baby bath. Ngayon, baby bath.
Hindi, bubble bath.
Bawal.
So, if tutuloy talaga yung impeachment proceedings and there is a majority, 13 votes, to vote to open the bank account,
Yeah.
she better just resign, no?
Yun nga, you're also looking at, so we're looking at late July or August na to?
Kung mag-resign naman siya, ordinary citizen na siya, pwedeng pag kinasuhan siya ng plunder,
Yun lang.
unbailable yun.
Available,
Doon
yun ang
naman siya
problema.
pwede ma-checkmate.
Yun yung
Pwede siya
delikado.
ma-checkmate doon, actually.
Hindi ka nakuha eh.
Wala ka ng immunity and all of the, yeah. Kasi syempre, she'll try to resign to not be disqualified from running for office again if she were
ang isang plunder case sa isang korte, pwede rin buksan yung kanyang bank accounts.
Yeah.
Pwede rin mabuksan yun.
That's the other thing. Assuming that the impeachment fails, assuming that for one reason or another, the impeachment does not proceed. The Supreme Court said it cannot proceed, whatever. There is still the ombudsman
Yun lang.
who can file a criminal case for plunder. Yung pa rin. That's the other thing.
But calendar-wise, are we looking at August for the proper trial to come in terms of if ever the money trail issue or
Well, July, August
na, di ba?
August
Yeah,
na.
kaya nga, I want to also look at the calendar. Now, very quickly, Justice, the other side of this conversation is, and I saw the parallels, di ba? Jurisdiction naman ang question, ngayon naman interim release. What is your read of the whole interim release issue? Because I was with Attorney Christina also the other day and we were talking about it. Parang nag-backfire talaga. Kasi ang basa ko dito is, the prosecution team, parang, baka naman gusto nyo mag-apply kasi may interim release. I mean, it's just a matter of right? And then, maybe, totoo yung sinabi sa akin na I think Portugal kind of offered maybe in theory to host him. But the way na nilabas ng Kaufman's side is like, done and dusted na yan, agree na sila, go na yan, boom, boom, boom. And that backfired, it looks like big time because if you look at the response of the prosecution team, they look pissed off. Like, may requirements yan. And then Sara came in and said, bakit nyo ilalagay pa yung interim release kung hindi nyo ibibigay sa tatay ko? Parang ganun yung dating. Like, the whole thing really exploded, right? Next thing you know, ang Australia daw and Belgium daw, none of them want to do anything about this. So what is your read? Like, is this another case of the Dutertes not reading the room? Now, this is not the... I'm sorry. You're from the... but this is not your barangay politics, basically, right? This is a real court. You cannot mess around here, right?
Yeah, I think the interim release is dead in the water already. I think the lawyer mishandled it, Kaufman, because he came out with a statement that the prosecution already agreed. I mean,
Hindi yun eh.
I mean,
Nag-usap-usap lang sila behind
they were. If I were the prosecution, why will I agree in advance? I mean, something strange there. So I think the prosecution got pissed off.
Yeah,
And
they look
I
pissed
think
off,
our opposition also worked.
Yeah, we were very maingay on this, yeah.
And I think that's it. I don't think he will.
Pero the answer of the 15-page answer ng prosecution was amazing, ha?
Yeah.
Tawa ako ng tawa.
Dami redacted doon.
Paano ginamit ng prosecution yung mga mismong salita?
Yeah.
ng
Yeah,
pamilya.
yari ka talaga doon, yeah.
Diba? Sinisigaw nyo ay kidnap victim.
Oo.
Bakit babalik yung kidnap victim sa kidnapper?
Actually, that's it.
Sabi
That's a good point.
bring
If
him
we
home.
kidnap you, why should you come back to us on your own
Bakit
accord?
babalik? No,
So flight risk siya. Automatically flight risk.
Yeah.
Maliban pa sa napaka-powerful nito.
Oo.
Vice President.
Yung
At
anak
saka-
niya.
Tinethreaten mismo yung presidente with assassination. Di ba? At mga anak, congressman, vice mayor, mga allies na mga senador, tapos cult-like following.
Cardboard, may
Diba?
museum.
Cult-like following, no? Grabe, yung
Tsaka-
entire argument ng prosecution was basically yung sariling statements ng mga followers ni Digong.
Niluto sila sa sariling mantika, basically.
Classic.
Yes,
Sabi nila yung mga nagrarally doon sa Hague.
Justice, you wanna say something
Tsaka,
and I'll go to you.
Yung side sinabi nila na he's old for
Oo,
humanitarian purposes. Eh, nanalo sa election eh. That means he's able and
exactly.
willing to be a mayor.
600,000 your fellow Davayanes believing, nagpalakpakan sila nung nanalo si Dion.
This wasn't persecution. This is impunity. No? Ma-amaze ka doon sa 15 pages.
Yeah, actually,
parang tayo lang nag-uusap.
Parang binardagulan. No, which is why ang basa namin, na bad trip sila. Sino tong mga to? Binubuli nga online, Ako naman kasi Justice Car, ang basa ko, Mark, sa sobrang dami nagreklamo dun sa detention center ng kapitbahay, please policy nyo na itong mga to. Tawagin nyo mga Portugal, our aid to you will be cut. Diba? Kasi mas mayaman ng Netherlands. Bawayan namin, policy nyo na yan. Diba? Feeling ko it was just like that. Take him out of here. Like we wanna leave. Diba? Ikaw, Mark, what's the online narrative ng DDS?
Oo nga, no? Baka kung sino tumanggap na bansa, doon naman lilipat.
Yun nga, sabi ko, are you sure you're gonna go for this?
Parang ano eh.
Yari guys.
Ito naman, sa ibang mga kababayan natin, parang naghahanap lang ng picnic. O parang naghahanap
Sara.
lang ng, parang fellowship ba? Parang they enjoy yung
Concert.
community nila mga OFW.
O libreng sandwich.
Ayun. Tapos darating yung mga darating
Nagpaparinig si Sir Ronald, wala pa daw yung libreng sandwich. Parating na daw.
Darating yung mga artista, darating si Robin Padilla, darating, di ba?
Wait lang, bakit nandun si Robin Padilla, Sir Ronald? Why is Robin Padilla always there? Hindi naman siya makapasok sa
Siya
detention.
ang presidente ng PDP laban.
Pero wala na, di ba?
So ngayon, si Topaksyo na yan, no?
Siya na lang
Siya na yung pupunta, si Topaksyo. No? Siya na yung pupunta ron, siya presidente ng PDP laban no?
Itong sa interim release, hindi kaya ito si Kaufman, ano lang, para lang meron lang siya
KPI.
Oo, nape-present.
Laki ng bayad sa kanya eh.
O para masulit yung bayad sa
Buhay
kanya.
lang. Sir Ronald, nag-aanap buhay lang.
Nagkakaroon lang.
Overrated siya eh. So, kailangan niyang ipakita.
Kailangan niya pakita
na
eh.
hindi siya overrated.
Oo, ito, meron akong interim release.
Pero ngayon talaga, feeling ko delikado si Kaufman kasi sobrang pumalpak ng interim release argument nila. And Sara said, that doesn't mean we recognize the jurisdiction pa rin ng ICC. Meron pa siyang ganyan palusot, di ba?
Nakakatawa kasi dahil banat sila ng banat sa korte.
Yeah.
Yung korte magpapasya.
Kagat ka ng kagat sa amo mo.
Mula
Tapos
yung
galit
opening ni Medialdea, yung opening si
Yeah.
Medialdea humawak.
Yeah.
Pinanatan yung korte.
Yeah, oo.
Oo, tapos ngayon, babanatan mo pa rin yung korte.
Sabi niya.
Pero ba gumagana si Medel?
Sinabi ni a troubled court looking for legitimacy. The rule
The
is,
next day siya yung umuwi.
alam mo, the rule is, you never
Attack the court.
judge.
Yeah.
He's going to decide your case.
Natatawa ako ron.
Your fate depends on them. Kaya nga I'm wondering what are they trying to do. Kaya ikaw, Mark, ano bang narrative nila online ngayon?
Baka kaya kasi nila barangay justice court.
Kaya nga sabi ko they're not reading the room, literally. They're not reading the room. But Justice, going back to the issue of ICC, speaking of bato, wala pa yung warrant of arrest na nagalit ng ibang tao? Kailan darating daw yung... Kasi si Bato, meron pa siyang mga nasa river, nasa travel, kaya sabi namin...
Parang yan, ating prediction last year. Predict tayo ng predict eh.
Manner of...
Lalabas ng ganitong...
Ayaw nga pala, napakamot tayo.
Pero
Lumabas rin.
Lumabas rin, tama pa rin tayo.
Yeah, lalabas rin ito.
Hindi kasi masyadong nag-enjoy si Bato eh.
Nag-river control sa timeline ng ICC eh.
Oo nga eh.
No? Wala naman may control dyan. Pero lumabas pa rin. Yun yung mahalaga.
Do you guys read Justice? Kasi remember, the Trump sanctions are a bit heavier this time. Ang basa kasi in 2018, may sanction din doon sa Afghanistan US forces. But parang medyo mas matindi daw ngayon. Ang ginagawa daw ng ICC ngayon is, anything American, tinatanggal na nila. Even mga software, even yung mga hardware. So they're trying to get European. Sabi nga, baka Xiaomi gusto niya, Huawei. Kasi nasa sanction na sila eh. And even yung mga US or American, US-based or American, pwede sila kung masanction. although from what I understand, the ICC is they're adjusting. Kaya nagtatanong ako doon sa mga contacts niyo, may aircon na ba? May aircon pa rin ba sa ICC? Gumagana, may gwardiya pa rin? Kasi ang nilalabas ng DDS is, dahil kay Trump at sanction, babaksak ng ICC, the whole thing is gonna fall apart. It doesn't look like it. It looks like they're still, fining and dining.
Yeah. The ICC is a project of the European Union.
Yeah.
So they will support. They will support, and it's there in their territory, in EU. So that will continue.
But what about the Netanyahu issue? I mean, he was there in Hungary the other month lang.
Because the presidency Orban.
And they even Hungary moved out,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But it's not like the French or the German position was also reassuring, right? They said, "Will you arrest Netanyahu if he visits and all?" And
Because it's also an issue of the lone superpower, the US.
they don't want to go against US.
Diba?
Kawawa naman si Digong, walang nagpoprotekta sa kanya.
Only si Kwan lang si Zoran. Si
Zoran Mamdani, the presumptive, hindi naman mayor pa, but he said, even if hindi ICC ang New York, arrest na si Netanyahu. So bigla inisip ko si Bato. Si Bato cannot go to New York. Baka wala pang warrant of arrest. Inarrest na siya ni Zoran. Doon muna. Yeah. Katapos na. Yung mommy of Zoran. No, Justice, what is your... Could like US states do that? If they're not ICC member yung country?
No, I don't think they can do
So why
that.
would they say? Hindi kaya ito na ano eh.
Ubusin lahat ng topic na
Kaya andyan na yung lunch natin eh. Ito na, huli-huli na. Nagsasmile na. No, we're supposed to talk about ICC. Sir Ronald, ikaw kasi hindi ka illegal luminary. May legal luminary tayo. Huling tanong, Sir Ronald, dito sa issue ng ICC. And Mark, if you have also a question, singit natin dito. No, like, so on Bato, let's just be patient on that. But what about this last point na, the Sara, because was it Article 5 or something? Yung conspiracy to commit crimes and all. Could there be a part of this hearing and trial that could be relevant to the ICC? Because in theory, Sara could still be part of the 6, 10, 11.
Yes, because in fact, I think Sara is a principal accused also because because it was Sara who told Las Cañas not to kill people in the streets because it attracts media attention. Don't bring the dead people to the morgue because the reporters will go there. Just bury them in the quarry. Do it silently and bury them. And
Ang tawag ni Las Cañas kay Sara, ang reyna ng Tokhang, the queen of Tokhang.
That's what I'm saying. There could be an
That's
adjacent.
not an empty claim.
Exactly, yeah.
yeah, so that's in the articles of impeachment. So yes, it's going to come out.
Converge yan, di ba?
Yeah.
I mean, imagine,
Yung threat lang niya sa presidente, ginamit ng prosecution para banatan
that's what I'm
yung
saying.
interim release.
So they're watching very carefully. For all we know, but yung vlogs natin, pinapanood ng prosecution team ng ICC, di ba? We're giving them ideas. I mean, no, I'm just saying, pwede mag-stars align against the Dutertes later this
Kumuha ang
year.
ICC ng mga translators. Nag-hire sila.
Ng Barda
Mga
Gulag.
translators. Ngayon, Pilipino, Cebuano, etc. Dahil minomonitor nila lahat ng mga statements. No? Ng mga person.
Mark, is there any last question before we head to our... sumisingil na yung isang guest natin. Actually, pagdating niya, nasa yung lunch natin. Brunch pa yata later na tayo.
Yeah, okay na naman ako.
We're good. Justice, is there any last point before we wrap up this special pre-20th Congress? What is our wish for aesthetic? What is our wish for the incoming Senate, Justice? What do you want to see? And do you think Supreme Court should eventually get involved? Can Supreme Court get involved even if this is just the Vice President? Directly or indirectly? How do you see
because
this?
there's a
Pala, hindi ko
pending...
natanong yung Supreme Court. Yeah.
There's already a pending case in the Supreme Court involving the 1-year bar rule. That because Sara raised that in the Supreme Court, and so one way or another, if the Senate will will not proceed, the prosecution will bring the same issue to the Supreme Court, and so I think it's going that way.
And you're confident about where Supreme Court will go on this issue?
Yes, for two reasons. Because one, the House in their reply laid out that the dates that exactly on the 10th session day, the resolution came out signed by more than 1/3 of the members of the House. So that prevails over all the other impeachment complaints. And also, even if there was a breach of the 10 session days, I don't think the court will say that the negligence of Secretary General Velasco is binding. I mean, that's a very dangerous doctrine.
That's an interesting angle. Pwede isang
Employee.
staff.
An employee. Even if he is a glorified employee, he is still an employee.
Kaya ang mangyari dyan, pag file mo, tataguin na yung complaint. Mawawala na yung complaint.
Inupuan ng staff. Ayoko malis dito. Huwag na isang pa yan. Diba?
Pero tingin ko yung ICC, tuwan-tuwa sa politika natin.
I think-
habang minamonitor nila.
I think they're really following even the podcast. At the rate, I think, paano yung mga
Yung mga
latest podcast?
girlfriends kaya na mamonitor din nila.
Oo nga eh. I mean,
Pati yung away.
only in the Philippines, mayroon tayo.
Nasa ko twice yung 15 na page letter nila.
Hilarious.
Para sila mga podcaster.
Joe Rogan nga tawag. David Joe Rogan. Well, this is gonna be their most VIP case. I mean, I don't think they're gonna catch any big fish anytime soon at the rate things are going. But on that note, only in the Philippines, magkakaroon tayo ng special series based on fake news. July pala daw, hindi June. si Mark nagtatanong kagabi, tuloy ba tayo? Ano bang pinagsasabi na? Tuloy na tayo kahit hindi mangyari yung sinasabi ni Boy Kilay.
Pati yung Congress sumagot eh. Pati yung Congress nakala bukas eh.
Tapos hindi mo naman yung staff na naman, yung oh my God, may 1,000 live pala na dito. Bakit kayo gising? Matulog na kayo. Tama na yan. Ang dami pala nanonood sa YouTube. Okay, but to our siguro I think nag-expect talaga sila magkaroon ng special session, no? Habang nag-ayos sila ng kilay, ng nail weekend. On that note, thank you very much for everything, for wonderful wonderful people.
Hindi mo palapit na ang UNCLOS anniversary.
Yun!
July 12.
Historic victory sa UNCLOS against China.
Oh, at saka
At magkasama kami doon.
wait, excuse me. Sarah, before there was you and Justice and there was me and Mark, there was me and Justice. Di ba tayo Justice ang mga teammates sa West Philippine Sea?
Victory has a lot of parents.
Just to be clear, that applies to you, not to me. Alright? Ako, I have millions of publications.
The pictures that prove it. Marami kami pictures sa The Hague.
Si Sir Ronald kasi puro mga turista nagpipicture lang sa Hague. Habang kami kawawa, nagsiscribble ng mga articles ng ng on-clause. But anyways, bago tayo mag-aaway sa pwede tayo maging spokesman, Sir Ronald. Ako sa House, ikaw sa Senate.
Mukha ka model eh.
Ayan tayo. Ako na lang Senate kasi model. On that very aesthetic note, Sir Mark, wala ka bang habol sa aesthetic commentaries?
Ito na siya.
Sir Ronald, maka-cancel talaga yung show natin dahil sa'yo. On that note, thank you very much. God bless and talk to you soon.